Got the money for minutes, petty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? That life before riches, huh? That life before riches, huh? Pretty bitch, show me titties, huh? And I got the glazzy run up on me, I'ma make you get it. I'ma make you get it.
Okay, boxing fans, what's going on? Anybody out there, late night hour boxing talk? Let's get to it. Log in if you're here. We're going to talk some boxing tonight about this whole, how this whole Crawford fight got made. Okay, Crawford Porter fight. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and see what's going on with the boxing game right now in terms of, it's like ESPN is the one that's really doing this fight, right? So PBC is not really, it's not really a co-promotion, so to speak. It's not really like they're doing a co-venture or anything like that. From what we're hearing, PBC kind of basically washed their hands of the whole thing, and they're giving it all to Top Rank ESPN, right? So that's basically what we're hearing in terms of how this fight is being played out. So basically, they let Shawn Porter go across the street. Okay, now. Oh, you just what's that? You just got finished watching Buster Douglas versus and yeah, that probably was a fight to watch, right? PBC's finished when it stopped when Fury stops Wilder, Spence out. Yeah, well, we don't really know if Fury's gonna stop Wilder yet. I mean, let's not jump the gun. I mean, he did stop him the last time, and that was predictable. Okay, because at the end of the day, if Wilder couldn't beat Fury in the first fight, there's no way he was going to beat him in the second fight. I mean, it just wasn't going to happen. Okay, the first fight he was ready. He was like he was ripe to be picked, and Wilder couldn't reach him. He was a low hanging fruit at the time. You know what I mean? And Wilder's like 6'6", and he still couldn't reach him. So, I mean, what makes you think that he was going to, do it the second time when Wilder was a little more, on his game? I mean, Fury was a little bit more on his game, but, it is what it is. But, yeah, so this whole Crawford Spence situation, with the PBC not working together with Top Rank, and, it's like if it wasn't for like Eddie Hearn and Triller, this fight probably wouldn't be made. Okay, because it was because it was going to purse bid why this fight was made, really. Okay, if there wasn't, that's why competition is always good. Because in a situation, just imagine if it was just Top Rank and on PBC and we, what I'm saying, nothing would get done in boxing. You know what I mean? So it's just a good thing that like when Triller and Eddie Hearn and all that other people come around, that's better for fighters. Okay, that way fighters get more of what they need to get. It's best to have more people to compete. So that's the only reason why we get this fight, really, because even though they're giving us the fight, they still couldn't even work together on the fight to put the fight, to make the fight, something, do the promotion, co-promotion, and all that. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't get that, but you figure they would put the business, ahead of their whatever problem they got with each other. You know what I mean? But they're not doing that. So we're not really getting the result that we'd like to see. You know what I mean? Because if they was working together, two of them on this fight, they could, do the promotion. But it is what it is. Maybe I don't think it's a big enough fight to do that. But I think that's a mistake, really. You know, a fight is as big as you make it. You know what I mean? Especially when you got your number one guy, Terence Crawford. You know, that's a problem with like Top Rank, and they undervalue like fighters like Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, so you really, there's really something wrong over there at Top Rank, really. When you can, you got a guy that's knocking people out left and right, and you're saying that you can't, he's not selling. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, that's like somebody giving me like, solid gold, and then they give me like 10 bars of solid gold. And then I call them back the next week and say, listen, man, I can't sell these gold bars, man. I mean, I don't know what to sell them. What? What are you talking about? I mean, that's crazy talk. You know what I mean? So, Top Rank this should be, when it comes to Terence Crawford, man, they should be like, sued for their election of duty or something, because they're not doing their job. They're not promoting Terence Crawford like they're supposed to. You know what I mean? That's how I see that, at the end of the day. So anyway, I mean, to the point where, them on PBC got to be forced to make this fight, and the only reason they're making the fight is because the threat of Triller or Eddie Hearn, possibly picking up the fight, which it looked like Eddie Hearn was determined to go in there and do some damage in terms of picking, which would have been better for, because at the end of the day, I think that if Eddie Hearn had went in there and picked up this fight, or even Triller, they probably would have wanted options, on the fighters for some other fights down the line, which would be great for Crawford, because he don't got nobody. That's his last fight with Top Rank. You know what I mean? And as for Shawn Porter, that would be good for him too, because you're not really going on for him at PBC right now anyway. So yeah, and look, PBC has sent him across the street. You know what I'm saying? They didn't send Errol Spence across the street. They sent Crawford and they sent Porter across the street. You know what I mean? So, it's some funny business going on. You know what I mean, with this whole fight situation, and how it was all made. And again, I don't think this fight would have been made if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn and Triller. Excuse me. I think they're the driving force behind this. Imagine at the last minute they decided to make the fight. The last second, literally the last second, right before the purse bid. Dylan White versus Rebecca started days in the rain, and Top Rank got Chocolatita versus Estrada. Only a big fight I saw at PBC was Ronald Ellis versus Benavidez. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying there's no big, there's not really any. They have fighters. I mean, they got like the 154 pounders. I mean, they got Charlo. He's a good fighter, but we all saw what happened last time he fought. So he probably gonna keep his head down for right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he got killers up there ready to take his head off. You know what I mean? So, but Charlo is a warrior, and he's been shown that he can do take care of business for them. But in the last fight, they probably got kind of nervous. So we don't know what's going to happen with Charlo, and when that fight is supposed to happen again. I'm not really hearing nothing about when that fight is supposed to be. That rematch is supposed to be happening, if it is going to be a rematch, or what's going on with that. But PBC, they got fighters. It's just that they need fights. They need fights, especially for the welterweights. Now that Errol Spence out of the picture for the the time being, you got Ugas, but I mean. Well, I mean, I don't know, Ronald. I don't know if it's right to say he didn't live up to the hype. I mean, if by that you mean Charlo didn't knock out Castana like some people might have been expected, or whatever. Or some people might have thought would have happened. then yeah, maybe you can say that then. But I mean, it was a pretty good fight. I thought, I like to see close technical fights. You know what I mean? That was a pretty good fight. I like that fight, actually. It was a great fight, you know? So, to me, I mean, it lived up to the hype because, a lot of people was talking about how Castano could, he's a hard worker, and he went in there and showed that he's definitely a hard worker, and, to the point where, a lot of people think Jamel lost that fight, so it is what it is. I didn't hear him actually say that, Ronald. But if he did, then I take you for. I mean, if that's what he said, that's what he said. I mean, I wouldn't know. I didn't hear him say that. But if that's if he said that says a lot in itself. He said undisputed. Oh, yeah, you gotta stop that, man. Undisputed. Okay. Yeah, that's some shit. But a lot of these fighters don't really, they're not really the best, at grammar. They're not exactly, So, what can you expect? Oh man. Oh man, hey, that's some funny shit. But yeah, yeah. So okay, all right, okay. So you didn't actually say that. You're saying then, eh? It's a joke. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard much about that fight. Really, I'm looking to hear something about that. Because I want to see. I don't think there's any reason why they should have to hold up the undisputed at 154 pounds. I mean, they just need to run that back as fast as possible to get. Why hold it up? I mean, I'm pretty sure Castano is not the one that's holding it up. You know what I mean? Because I think he wants to go after it as quickly as possible. He probably would have took the fight the next day if he had the chance. You know what I mean? So you know. Yeah, well, I mean, hey, who knows what Jameer was thinking about? You know, who knows? So yes, so that fight. So they're both PBC, so that's an easy fight to make. Then you know what I mean. So it really shouldn't be an issue as to why there shouldn't be a problem making this fight as quickly as possible. And a fight like that, it should have been made. They should at least have some kind of announcement or close to an announcement by now as to when that fight. That fight could have been made before the end of the year, actually, in December, really. I look at Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is talking about coming back in December or January, and he just fought. So I mean, you know, he got some urgency, I guess. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem to be no urgency with that fight with. But I mean, then again, you can't really blame these guys. I mean, a tough fight. You know. So why you said Jamel was your favorite fighter? Isn't he still your favorite fighter? I mean, he hasn't done anything that would make him your. I mean, he's been representing pretty good as far as I can see. You know, I mean, he's the only lion in the whole Lions only crew. So they should be calling it Lion only. because Jamal is a pussycat. You know what I'm saying? So forget about Lizola for Jamal. He ain't doing nothing about middleweight, but just vegetating up there. You know, actually, Jamal should just jump up to middleweight, man. Just do the undisputed and then move up, win or lose. You know what I mean? So I think he probably do better fights, do more fights than his brother is doing. I don't know what Jamal is doing. I mean, man, these guys fight once. I mean, it's incredible, man. I don't know. This guy must be making a lot of money, man. You know what I mean? Because at the rate they're turning down fights and not fighting and fighting once a year, I don't know how they're making the money. And we don't really know what's going on. I mean, look, this fight, we're gonna see what happened with this fight with Crawford and Porter, because if this fight could make some money for the networks, it's gonna be good for Porter and for Crawford. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the networks are looking for somebody to really, because I mean, we talk about primarily Fox. Really, when I say network, I shouldn't say network. So network is Fox. They're the one that's working with PBC. I don't, that from what I'm hearing, that deal has been word's been coming out for months now that deal is not really that solid, because the networks are kind of disappointed with what they're getting for their money, and a lot of complaints, about the amount of eyes they're getting on their product, as opposed to what they were promised, or what they was expected. Like, for example, when they had that Danny Garcia fight, when Spence came back for the Danny Garcia fight, the network, they were expecting, like the network suits, they were expecting like 600,000-700,000 pay-per-views in that fight. Okay, that's what they were, prepared for. That's what they were expecting to get. Okay, and they got less than 250,000. So they weren't really happy with that whole performance at all. And then on top of that, those views have been going down from Mikey Garcia. It went down to Porter, and then it went even lower with Danny Garcia. And like I said, like he was coming back from an injury and all of that, and a lot of hoopla, and Spence is coming back. And they were expecting 600,000-700,000 pay-per-views, but they got less than 250,000. So needless to say, they're not very happy about that whole thing. So they didn't really get what they wanted, and so they're not happy with this whole Spence. And then at the same time, you got people out there talking about Spence is a pay-per-view star. I don't know what the hell these guys are talking. I mean, it's when you got people like Jake Paul coming from out of nowhere, 4 professional fights, making like 1 million views, 1.5 million pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really and truly, if you really look at that whole Jake Paul situation, and you look at the amount of fights that Jake Paul have, right? I mean, you can say he's a pay-per-view star because he's getting 1 million+ pay-per-views. So now, if you look at the fact that Jake Paul took on that Tyron Woodley in that fight, right? Now, that would be the equivalent. Jake Paul taking on Tyron Woodley with the amount of fights that he has would be just like if Errol Spence would go up and would take on somebody like Canelo, or maybe somebody at a bigger, up at 168 pounds or something like that. You know what I mean? In terms of equivalency, you understand? Because that was a dangerous fight for Jake Paul. He only got like 3 fights before that. Taking on a guy like Woodley, was a dangerous fight. That wasn't a fight where, you could say Jake Paul was going to win that fight, so even though, but, it's just that Jake Paul Tyron Woodley just underperformed, but that's the story of his last couple of fights anyway. So I guess the odds makers, base their favorite, their favorite for Paul on that. I think Paul was the favorite. I don't even remember if that's the case, really. I don't really do any gambling. But anyway, you can call Paul a pay-per-view star because of what they're doing. So, with all this going on with the UFC and with all this network, all this celebrity boxing business, you see people like Showtime doing business with Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? What do you expect when they're getting 1 million pay-per-views? Which is what the networks are looking for in those type of numbers, and they're not getting that from the regular boxers. So what do you think is going to happen eventually? That's not. It's good. It's bringing more eyes to boxing and all that, but I just don't see how they're going to be able to maintain their value if they're not getting the kind of numbers that these people are getting. That's what at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Advertising money. It's about the eyes on the product. And if I can bring 1 million eyes, and you can only bring 200,000, the networks don't give a shit about where those eyes are coming from, as long as they're the kind of eyes that they need, and they're gonna go for that. You know what I mean? So so why would I want to pay you, a professional guy, $10 million when I can, I'm only gonna get 200,000 eyes on my product, and you got a guy over here, I can get 1 million eyes, and I just gotta pay him probably the same amount I'm paying you, or maybe a little bit more, and I'm good. And so, hey, in this case, then the output that these networks are making in terms of money is fitting what they're getting in return. 1 million views as opposed to 200,000. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how that's gonna. At the end of the day, it's not gonna be good look for the professional guys unless they start, the best start fighting the best, and people start really putting out. All these exhibitionists, guys are coming in and and then coming in and making waves, and you got Jay Paul coming in there talking about women's pay and fighter pay and cutting his purse to help somebody else. So all that, making the boxers, the professional boxers look bad because they don't really do anything like that, really. So, and you really hear anybody talking about our people making money or cutting their pay so somebody else can get paid. You know what I'm saying? If anything, what you hear them talking about is about how much they're getting paid and how much our people not getting paid. I'm the biggest fish, so I'm getting the biggest money. And only person that make more money than me is Deontay Wilder and welterweight. That type of crap. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, boxing is, I don't know, but yeah. So let me see. Canelo broke the ice. Yeah, definitely. Paul is doing something good about that whole idea. I don't know if it's a gimmick, what he's doing, and even though the whole idea about, pay for the guys in the UFC, he's talking about that as well, not just the women, but the men, So he's talking about boxing pay for women, and he's talking about more money for the UFC fighters who are not really getting the biggest pay. They fighting him, And look at the kind of sport that MMA is, another dangerous sport. People kicking in, elbowing you, and all kind of shit. So, come on, These guys should be getting paid more. And Dana White can talk all the nonsense he wants, about that people don't know what he's doing and this and that, and but we don't want to hear that, Dana White. You're making crazy money with all those pay-per-views that these guys are putting out for you, and all those numbers. You're making billions, and you don't want to pay these guys. You want to keep most of that for yourself. We don't hear nothing about no expenses and all that bullshit. We don't want to hear that. That's all nonsense. Not to say that there's no expenses, but I mean, you're not losing any money. You know what I mean? You've been doing this thing for how long now? UFC's not losing any money in any of these fights. None. You know what I mean? All these fights, they're getting, every time they put on a pay-per-view, they're making their money. It's not like boxing where they're getting 150,000 pay-per-views and all. Nah, they're never getting like they always getting 800,000, 700,000, 900,000, a million plus. So, you guys at least pay the fighters a little bit more money. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. But so the question, we're gonna ask ourselves at this point, is like, somebody ask you something, Ronald. What do you think? Do you think that PBC is like, what do you think they're doing with Shawn Porter? You think they let them go over there on the other side of the street for this fight, or you just think they just saying, we don't got nothing for you right now, Shawn, so you might as well just go over there and do what you see if you can find something. Maybe you can get a something. What do you think? I don't know. I know one thing. It's going to be interesting to see. When any more purse bids come up. Okay. I don't just talk about. Yeah, well, I see that. I had to give us something for the 400,000 fans in America. Finally, what do you mean by that? Well, if you mean merging all the belts together and making one champion in each division, which is where it's supposed to be, instead of all these franchise belts and fake belts that they're coming up with, and honorary belts and that belt and this belt, and it's all a bunch of nonsense. If that's what you're talking about, I agree with you 100% on that for sure. Because they have enough belts already as it is. So like Teofimo with his franchise belt claiming he's undisputed and he's just a unified champ. You shouldn't be having things like that. Shouldn't happen. I mean, that's just causing confusion. Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, man, PBC is going to do what PBC is doing. I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. I mean, Al Heyman, he's a businessman. He's been doing it for a while now. He was in the music business, so I'm pretty sure he's doing whatever he's doing over there. Let's see, can't keep letting Texas think they control the whole world sport. That's why Crawford versus Spence was made. I used to be LDBC, the fake as hell about the sport going. Well, I mean, it's not about the sport going for them. It's about their fighter. You know what I mean? They I mean, a lot of these guys are man fans. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I've been watching boxing for a long time. So I've never really seen nothing like this before, that what I see going on right now. And I think social media got a lot to do with that, you know what I mean? And so maybe if 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it'd been the same thing if we had social media back then as well, you know what I mean? Because, a lot of these fans develop fan bases and they got the fans telling them whatever they want to hear and making an excuse for them and they out there talking for them and everything. So it's like, they're kind of insulated, Yeah, they kind of insulated, and they don't really understand. Like each fighter is kind of living in his own bubble, with his own fans and his own fan base, and his own network of his own people that that's talking to him and telling him what he want to hear. It's like a cyber groupie type of situation. Cyber groupie type business. So this is what's really going on. So you have all these groupies, social media groupies, following these fighters, and they just hyping them up and telling them whatever they want. You know what I mean? And they and nowadays it's not like before, where you had to work to become a fan of somebody. Like if you had to set up a fan site, but they didn't have sites back then. If you wanted to set up a fan club, it was a whole bunch of it wasn't easy. Nowadays you just join a social media, Facebook, this, that, whatever, boom, set up a group, boom, it's done. You know what I mean? And that you got millions of people all over the world, ready to come and link up to that. So I mean, it's with all that at their disposal, these fighters don't really feel any real pressure because they get insulated and getting protected by their particular network, social network. So that's the difference, I think, and that's why they get away with a lot of stuff they get away with now. That they would never be able to get away with. Back in the day. I mean, back in the day, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence would have fought 2 years ago. Just like Leonard and Hearn fought in their prime. Duran and Hearn in their prime. I mean, Duran and Leonard in their prime. You know what I mean? All those guys fought each other in their prime. Nobody waiting around talking about they waiting, you're on the other side of the street and all that nonsense. Or, all this talk about you didn't fight nobody, you can't move. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, this shit is so ridiculous, man. I just don't even understand how people let these guys get away with that crap. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, it's almost embarrassing, I mean, you actually out there talking this nonsense. I mean, as if it's some kind of gospel. Yeah, well, you didn't fight nobody. Yeah, you didn't. When Crawford said to Spence in that video, he said, "Yeah, I moved up to 147, and you going over there, and Thurman going over there, and you saying that I didn't fight nobody." And then Spence goes, "Well, you hadn't." I'm like, what? I mean, you should be embarrassed to even say that, man. I mean. You want? It's like these guys don't realize that when they don't think they don't understand it on camera, and that is like these videos are like that's leaving a record that's going to be around forever, basically. So I mean, I don't know what the hell they're thinking. It's not like that's one good thing about all this media, social media thing is like, now we can have a record of what's really going on. Like back in the day, we can talk about what happened. Between. Say Frazier and Ali when they was at a particular show or they was in a club or they was somewhere and they, we could hear talk about people, somebody wrote about it but now, those videos and those clips, the cameras everywhere. So, we can get those, the record is being kept, there's a record, there's a paper trail. So he was going to buy Teofimo Lopez Cambosa, but I'm hip to the game. He only brings up Haney now because his numbers in jeopardy. He probably shits on Haney after his fight and I think Lopez. Yeah. That's another disappointment. Is Teofimo really? I mean, I thought when he won the title from the Matrix, he was talking a lot of, Lomachenko, he was talking a lot of big talk, but none of that talk came to fruition. Nah, it's okay. You can talk, man. I'm here. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. So, as a matter of fact, if you want to jump on, you can just jump on, or we can just talk instead of you typing and I'm talking. You know what I mean? So I can send you the link, and you can jump on if you want to. We can just chop it up. Yeah, so uh, yeah, Teofimo has been a big disappointment as far as I'm concerned. In the fact that he's not really trying to fight the fight that he said he was going to fight. Uh, when he got the belt, he was talking big stuff about everybody need to fight. All the younger guys need to fight each other, and he's going to fight Haney. He was going to fight. Yeah, man, now he's making excuses. He's going to wait. I mean, I've heard so many excuses from him now. I don't believe nothing that he said at all. I don't blame him. I mean, he just talk nonsense. You know what I'm saying? He don't really, he's not really, And then the whole thing about him and this whole belt business, this thing about him being undisputed, I don't really like that. You're not undisputed. Stop saying you're undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Stop saying that. I mean, why the hell you going around and say you're undisputed when you're not? You're not. And if you look up, you look him up on Google, it says unified champion.
What's good? Up, how you doing today, TBE Boxing?
I'm good, bro. What's going on?
I can't call it, man. Just chilling on a Saturday night.
I hear you, bro. Me and you both. Yeah. So like I was saying, this whole thing with Teofimo and his claim that he's undisputed, and when you go and Google him, it says a unified champion. You know what I'm saying? So if when you go out there and you Google this guy, you get the unified champion, and and then he's saying he's undisputed, then there's a dispute. So if there's a dispute, you're not undisputed. So how and then you got the WBC champion out there, the world champion. You don't have that belt, but how are you going to be undisputed? Because they gave you a franchise belt and told you that, yeah, I mean, talk about an email belt. That's even worse than the email belt that you was talking about that Devin Haney got. You know what I mean? So, it's like somebody gives you a belt and tells you, okay, you are a higher level than this guy that has the world championship. You don't got to fight him or nothing. I'm just giving you a status over him with this belt. I mean, what the hell is that? It's a joke, So I just, I don't mean, to me that belt is just a French fries belt. I don't even recognize that belt, really. And anybody that have the belt, the franchise belt, and claim that you can't claim undisputed with that belt because it's useless.
You know what? And you're right. It's favoritism on Mauricio Sulaiman's part because he the one who kind of gave Devin Haney that distinction. Because Lomachenko dropped the belt, so why would you have all these people around here disgracing your champion who you gave the belt to, disgracing Devin Haney because you want to make an extra belt and you want to tell the boxing world go fuck yourselves. Excuse my French, but that's what I get out of it. You're not like holding true to like the 4 sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? You're not telling the fans from old school. Like what you're doing is telling the old school fans that like, hey man, 4 belts don't mean anything because you don't got to fight for them. I'll just make you an extra belt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. I mean, they're making sense. So I mean, that means you can just anyone that was sanctioned by can just make up a belt and say, hey, nobody's fighting for this belt, but I'm going to give. Oh, let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Hey, you have that belt. You're the franchise. You don't got to fight that guy. You don't got to fight that guy. You can duck that guy. I mean. It's crazy, man. So now I mean they're getting a lot of pressure for all that foolishness. I mean, you see the WBA trying to straighten up their act and talking about they're running a tournament and all that, and only one belt, which is all these 3 and 4 and 5 belts, interim belt and junior belt and world belt and super belt, and I mean it's crazy, You got like 5 belts in one division. I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
You know what? The 135 division and the 160-pound division, the 2 worst divisions in boxing with all the stars on it. And that's the funny thing is all the stars on those 2 divisions, 135 and 160. And GGG ran straight to Dazin. Like, and when he went to Dazin, they didn't even question him when he signed with Dazin about who he should fight at that. Like when he went to Dazin, they didn't ask him any hard questions or anything. I thought that shit was weird. Like I feel like he was the first original franchise champion, even though they didn't give him that title. but like they allowed him to come to a different network, and they didn't even question him about is he gonna unify in that division. You see what I'm saying? He just got to pick and choose. Like,
Well, I
that's
think
why.
that's why he got like that $100 million contract with DAZN, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
When he first got that contract with the Zone, like maybe 2 years ago, I think it was.
yeah, that's when him and his trainer split because of the money. He didn't get the
Yeah,
train. Yeah,
exactly. You see, you follow it like I follow it, and that's the way I
yeah.
followed it. Like, wow, like really, y'all not even gonna question him. Nobody questioned him at all at that signing at Dyson. Like, I'm like, wow, they didn't even
Well,
question him.
at the time, well, it's not DAZN, it's DAZN. That's how they pronounce it, DAZN.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
DAZN, they were looking to sign big names. You know what I mean? So, they were just pushing. They were just trying to get the ball rolling, really. And Triple G was available. So they just jumped on it, and they did. I mean, I don't know what Triple G. For what I hear, he's supposed to be fighting Moretti in December sometime. I don't know if that's an official fight. I haven't really seen anything about on it being official, but I've seen talk about it happening. So because other than that, he's very quiet. I mean, if there's a fight come up in December, then great. I mean, but that should be at least be talking about it now, right? I mean, at least we should be hearing something about it. But who
No
knows?
question. But I feel like PBC dropped the ball on how they went about basically making the best fight the best. It's like they got comfortable, like just allowing their fighters to just get like all of this recognition, thinking that more people were just gonna come to that whole storyline and forget about the whole world of boxing. Like American boxers used to be elite, but then it's like if you stop like fighting for titles, like from like real champions, then it's like how are you gonna basically compete with like the worldwide of sports? Like because I respect a lot of UK boxers. You see what I'm saying? They have a lot of great champions and they fight the fighters against each other. For here, for some reason, it's like all of our elite boxers getting comfortable. And it's like that's what's hurting the sport. You're not like challenging yourself like by actually going to other networks. You're loyal to one thing instead of allowing like the world to appreciate you. Because I remember when Jamel Charlo first started getting his wins and losses, like when he lost to Harrison. When he lost to Harrison, I felt like the world kind of like felt like he won that first fight. And it's like I saw all of the comments in different sections across the world, and a lot of people
Yeah,
thought that Jamel won that fight. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's the barometer right there. That's the meter right there. You got to stay like doing stuff like that to get other people to appreciate you and your boxing skills. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I just feel like I don't think he understood like recently like how important that undisputed was. You see what I'm saying? Because you get more recognition if you actually would have won that, and then it's like you could have moved up that way. But I don't think he took it serious. So I like Jamel, but I just don't think he like took it serious. Like you're supposed to beat Castano like convincingly. He didn't do that. I didn't feel like he did that. That was a boring fight. I don't know if you
Well,
watched it.
yeah, I saw the whole fight. To me, it was boring because I like technical fights like that. You know what I mean? But
Oh, I know you do.
the thing about it is that you know, Castano is that he's like the Shawn Porter of 154 pounds. You know what I mean? So he's one of them guys with a high output, high work rate. And if you go in there with him and decide that you come in there half stepping, you will get taken out. Okay. And that almost happened to Jamel. Okay. So I don't know what Jamel was in there doing or what he was thinking about, but you can't take that guy lightly. You can't take him lightly. It's like Shawn Porter. He's not the best fighter in the world, but you can't go in there against him half stepping
Yeah,
because
no doubt. No
he's
doubt.
coming to work and he's gonna do his work. So you gotta watch it. So I think maybe Jamel maybe took it, maybe he took it lightly. I don't know. Maybe he figured that he could have beat. He was gonna. Because you gotta watch these fighters sometimes because a lot of people been talking about Jamel like he's some kind of knockout artist. And I already said I talk about it in a video where I said that you need to forget that kind of talk and focus on his boxing. You know what I mean? Because he's gonna end up like Wilder, you know what I mean? Thinking that he's some kind of knockout artist, and he could just go in there and take guys out instead of going in there to do the work. You know, so that could be a detriment to a fighter. You know, sometimes when they start knocking people out, they're thinking that I can knock everybody out. You know, and that ain't the case. And we saw that with the Castano fight.
Yeah, it's definitely about the skill set first. It's like, put it like this. Shawn Porter versus Earl Spence. That was a fight that was probably like the last like memorable fight that I even saw on PBC. As far as like, I was thinking that Spence was going to knock him out, but he didn't, and it was a real good technical fight, but it was action packed too. Like it was like really action packed. Like
which fight you talking about?
Spence versus Porter. Like that was
yeah.
probably the best like real electrifying like technical fight I watched. That was like 2 years ago, I think, when Shawn Porter fought Spence, and he lost his belt. Porter lost his belt, but that was a good fight. That was memorable. Like, and that was a fight that actually elevated both of them. And that's the thing. Like UK boxers, you see fights like that, and it elevates them. And that was a fight that elevated Spence a little bit more, even though he was exposed a little bit. But it also elevated Shawn Porter, even though he lost the belt. And that's the thing, is about like just what people kind of perceive of you that kind of makes you better and more famous. Like Shawn Porter fighting T Bud, hey, I hope it lives up to what it's supposed to be. Like, because that's going to save both of their careers. Whoever win that fight is going to elevate them, and it's going to make them like the person who either any network would want. Like I feel like they shouldn't even like sign to no network. They should just go ahead and just, stay like one fight contract. People kind of like how Carissa Shields did when she fought Hannah Gabriel at Matchroom at the Zone. Like you can't like get caught in like with one network, because it's gonna hurt your career at this point. So they should also just do one fight deals going forward, and that way you take the control out of the network's hands or the promoter's hands. You just kind of
you gotta have value for that. But you saw Clarissa Shields just signed with Boxer.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Which is Sky Sports.
Somebody said she didn't sign with them. I heard today.
Really?
Well, that's what I saw in the comments.
Well, she's on their website, right? So I mean, let me see. Let's take a look.
What's good, Hawker Mustang? How you doing today, bro? That's my boxing brother right there. We be everywhere.
Yeah, hit the link and come on. Tell them to jump on. The link is still there. Yo, hit the link and jump on, man. The link is there, bro. You can jump on.
Yo, TBA boxing. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like a chat warrior more than anything. I got my own channel, but I don't I only talk about boxing on my channel. I don't like promote it.
Okay. How many videos you got? You do videos, right? How many?
Yeah, I probably got like 200, but it's only like to the people that I know. Like I don't promote my channel. I just talk about like certain fights. Like I talked about the Rob Conceição fight the other day versus what's his name? Oscar Valdez. I talked about the last fight this weekend, Oscar Valdez versus Rob Conceição, but that was only because I wanted to like give people the understanding of like how I scored the fight. Like, I don't promote my channel. I just kind of like just talk.
So what do you think about the fight?
Well, I feel like Conceição won, like on boxing abilities alone. But everybody wants to see the Rock'em Sock'em robot fight, and that ain't boxing to me. Like boxing to me is like the sweet science, like hit and not get hit, points, like keep your guard up, defense, moving around the ring. But a lot of people like look at it like it's like a bias situation now instead of a boxing clinic. You know what I mean? Like people don't want to look at it for what it is. Like it's a sport. And whoever gets the most points, whoever like outlands, whoever looks sharper, whoever looks more showmanship, that's who should win the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's always the intangibles. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna have that no matter what. Especially when you're dealing with people, it's not like the machine doing the judging. And then you got, when I say intangible, we going from benign, just regular benign intangibles to malignant. Like buying judges intangibles, you know what I mean? So,
of course, yeah.
So it's a range from innocent all the way to guilty. You know what I mean? And anything in between. So all that shit's going on, in some of these fights, and so it's hard to tell what's really happening, because look at the judging on some of these fights that we're talking about now, and like in the Canseco fight, the way, the way the referee took away a point from him for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he hit him like he patted him on his lower back.
Yeah, it was just like patting him on the head, I mean, yeah. And he took a problem like, what the hell is going on?
Fucking crazy.
He was looking for any excuse to take a point away from, and this guy was hitting the guy in the back of the head multiple times, and no warning, no. I mean, it's crazy, man. And then at the end of the fight, bro, when some of the people were booing after the decision, the referee made it a point to go over to where Oscar Valdez was, to take up his hands and to bring him to the ropes and put his hand up facing the crowd again. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? If that wasn't, I mean, if that
biased as hell.
If that wasn't, I mean, if that didn't reveal the whole plot, nothing did. You know what I'm saying? So, that whole thing was a joke, man.
It was all about the fans. It wasn't about the actual sport or the judging or the criteria. It was about like him just like making sure the crowd was happy. Like,
but you see, Cansea says he kind of dropped the ball towards the end of the fight. I mean, he started fading. I mean, a big guy. I mean, that guy was huge. Now I see why Valdez was taking steroids. He was like,
well, you know what? He was taller. But I look at it like this: if you make weight comfortably and you don't like not make weight, that's what it is. Like, it's not supposed to be about like what you like blown up to be or whatever. Like, but
I'm just saying he was huge compared to Valdez, bro. I mean, I looked at him, I was like, damn, he's a 130 pounder.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, whoa. So you can just imagine, right? What Valdez was thinking when he said that's the guy he's gonna fight next. He probably said, "Hey," he probably like, "Yo, we need some assistance with this one."
They saying Hearn is bigger than Shakur Stevenson. Like, do you believe that Hearn is bigger than Shakur Stevenson? Like, if whoever Valdez fight next, like, I think that Shakur is more bigger than Valdez than Hearn to me, as far as him just.
No, Hearn is bigger than Shakur. He's taller.
Okay.
He's a little bit taller, but Shakur is thicker than him, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I look at it like if they make the weight, they make the weight. Like, come on now, like.
That's gonna be an interesting fight. I mean, Shakur is kind of young and eager. He's been a little disrespectful towards Hearn, as far as I can see.
Yeah, I seen that.
I don't really like that. You need to stay in your lane, bro. He's
been a little cocky.
A little bit. I mean, nothing wrong with being cocky, but there's a respectful way to be cocky. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with somebody, especially somebody that you know. I mean, what?
You know what? But look at ESPN though. They like actually giving Shakur his blessing though. They put him in a title shot, which is good. That's a good thing that the ESPN and Top Rank is putting him in a title shot. I appreciate that, because whoever fight Valdez is going to have a strap. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's good in the sense as far as building them both up and to actually fight Oscar Valdez. So that's a good thing.
So you think they're going to fight after? So you think that Shakur is going to beat Hearn?
Well, of course, I think Shakur is going to beat Hearn, because I feel like Shakur is he has a lot of seasoned fights. Like, he's fought in guys that like have like really good records, like, and they older dudes. Like, I think Shakur has a lot of experience with dealing with guys that's like veterans or who have like good records, and it's like I feel like he's seasoned and I feel like he's ready. And plus, he has Andre Ward as a mentor. I think he's ready for anybody. Like, I think he's going to wash Hearn. I really do.
That should be interesting because, I've seen Hearn fight, not Hearn, but Shakur. He's really good. I mean, I see him sparring Ugas and holding his own against Ugas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who
exactly.
got such a welterweight? You know what I'm saying? And he's at 130 pounds.
Yeah, I think Shakur he sparred a lot with Lomachenko also. Like
Yeah,
he has a lot of experience, you know.
but at the end of the day, though, I mean, I can see a pass for victory for Herring if he goes in there and try to manhandle. Uh, I don't know if he's strong enough to do it, but you see, he gonna have to go in there and really put it on Shakur. But I don't know if it's gonna work because I mean, Shakur don't seem to get rattled at all. You know what I mean? And I've seen him when they were like I even saw when he was fighting when he was sparring Haney, he handled Haney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I seen that sparring footage. Yeah, him and
You
Haney.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He held his own there against Haney. So
yeah,
you know,
no
but
question.
I think I think what Haney's the younger one, right?
Yeah, Haney's the younger one. I think he's probably
Yeah.
only like 22 at the most, or 23 or something like that. He's young.
Yeah, so Shakur's a little bit older than him. But
I mean,
yeah,
oh yeah,
that
yeah. Haney's like 22, 23. I think yeah, I think Shakur is even younger. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, I try not to follow the ages, but I know they both young boys. Shakur and Haney are both youngins. But like, you know what? Like, I feel like Haney did a good job his last fight out with who was he fighting? I think he was fighting Linares his last fight.
yeah, Linares, the guy that knocked down Lomachenko.
Exactly. And Lomachenko like got lumped up by Linares, if I remember that fight. And then I think Linares knocked Lomachenko down once in that fight.
Yeah,
So
he did solid knockdown too.
yeah, man. So, I feel like he has a lot of experience, like whereas though like and you know what, I do kind of favor Teofimo over Haney, but I think like Lomachenko and Haney is the fight that need to happen next. Like even though Teofimo say he wanna fight Haney next, but I think he just say that
Yeah,
because
he
of
ain't gonna
publicity.
fight Haney. See, that's like Spence saying he want to fight Crawford. Well, he never said he want to fight Crawford. He never ever said that. But I mean, the bottom line is that Teofimo talk a lot of just like you said, man. I think I'm kind of I think that whole thing is just to get promotion for his fight with Cambosa because nobody's paying attention to that fight now. People kind of getting bored. That whole thing is like what the hell is this guy doing over there with his bullshitting around and the fight not even happening yet, and so he's just talking nonsense, man. And he went from a shining star, and now he's just like a old bulb, just blinking. I mean, when he started out on a positive, on his good foot, you know what I mean. So I don't know what the hell he's doing now. He's just playing games.
Yeah,
But
he
then
lost
always,
he lost a lot of fans like with his whole like marinating of this Cambosa's fight. Like it's been like marinating so bad. First he was going to Australia. Then he wanted to go talk to fucking Eddie Hearn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, make up your mind. What you gonna do? Like,
I know he's all over the place, man.
yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy what he's doing. So uh,
You know
you
him
know,
and Senior Lopez and Haney Senior Bill. They had like a meeting one morning at a little breakfast bar or something. They was talking about making a fight. And when they didn't make that fight, I was like, "Oh my god, why did y'all even get together?" Because next thing you know, you see Tiafimo running to Eddie Hearn's office. Like, but he was trying to go to run the Eddie Hearn office for the wrong reasons. He should have just went and talked to Bill, and they should have just negotiated like we're gonna send his contract and we're going. But Tiafimo knew he was stuck over there at that barber. He knew he couldn't leave and go over there and fight that fight right then and there because he didn't know that he got to give Bob 20%. He didn't
wasn't
know
that
that.
wa-
Yeah.
wasn't that after he had re-signed with Bob?
Oh no, he
Oh,
just recently re-signed with Bob, I think,
oh,
right?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, but this was like maybe 7 months ago.
Oh,
The
okay.
with Bill Haney and Teofimo Senior got together early one morning on a show that I was watching.
Oh, that's that's when they was talking about $4 million or something like that.
Y-
That he
Yeah,
could have got.
yup, yup,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yup.
And
It's just
the yeah.
it's like one
Okay.
big circus, man. Boxing is one big circus, man. These guys just need to realize that they need to know their worth, and they need to know like who's gonna pay for a certain fight if they fight that person. You see what I'm saying? Like I feel like Ryan should be fighting JoJo right now, but he's even stalling on fighting JoJo. Like he don't know who he want to fight, from what I hear. You know.
He's probably juicing too, man. He's over there at the juice bar. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, fuck. I mean, he's probably out there doing something. I mean, that's probably why he didn't fight last time. I just used that mental health thing to kind of,
Yeah.
keep people at bay as far as I mean, I don't put nothing past them guys over there now, man. Based on, I
Yep.
mean, this whole thing with this, Valdez and El Carne Alvarez. I mean, that whole thing is so weak. But I mean, I'm pretty
You know
sure that.
what? Yo, can I say something real quick? TBE boxing, and I don't want to be the bad guy who wants to cut Teofimo Lopez off, but like I feel like he's just trying to get under that whole wing of the Reynoso camp. Like he's not trying to be his own like entity and just keep his fans. He want to basically like get into a camp where as though he know he gonna make some money instead of just being legendary. He just want to get past that whole like best fight the best. He just want to get in somewhere where he know he can keep those fans with him that love Canelo, and that's the sad part. Like, come on, man, you supposed to have been your own champion, but you running to hide like and go and fight under another somebody else because you want to just get those fans because you think those fans gonna buy
What?
the fight.
So he's joining the camp. He's not joining Canelo's camp,
It
right?
looked like that to me when I was looking at him like smooths up to Canelo. It looked like he was just like, man, I'm just going to be over here with you guys, man. Like I
Well,
don't really care about everybody else, man. I just get in here with you guys, and my boss like you already. Bob Arum love Canelo. You see what I'm saying? Like even though he's not his fighter, he love Canelo because everybody know Canelo bring the money in because the fans always support and they always go to fights and it just depends on where you
yeah, I'm
fight.
sure. I'm sure Bob loves Canelo. I mean, he looks as white as you can look for a Mexican. So he's a white Mexican. So damn right, Bob is gonna love anything white. I mean, he loved Matrix. Lomachenko. He loved what's his name? The light heavyweight. What's uh the one that got beat up by what's his name, man? He got knocked out by Canelo too. Canelo moved up and fought him at light heavyweight. You know what I'm talking about? Ronald.
Hold on, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that who was that guy that he moved? What's his name? That Canelo moved to 175 and beat him.
Well, he fought the European guy at 175, Rocky Fielding, right?
No, not Rocket Fielding.
Oh, Kovalev.
Kovalev. Yeah,
Okay.
Kovalev.
Yeah, he caught Kovalev slipping though. He just came off a hard fight with Anthony Yarde. That was a brutal fight. Anthony Yarde versus Kovalev. That was a brutal fight, man. I love that fight.
Yeah, but that's how Canelo does it. He always try to get an advantage, whether it's weight, catch weight, or some, fight me, with a 2 weeks notice or some shit like that. These
Yeah.
guys, I tell you.
TBE boxing. They fought like at 1:30 in the morning, bro. They made Kovalev sit there and wait for like 3 hours, yo. They knew what they was doing. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
I mean, they try to get as much advantage as they can get. So, what do you think
When
about this? So you think what do you any first thoughts on that whole AJ Usyk thing?
I was studying it today, man, that's a great topic because that fight's coming up before the Deontay Wilder versus Fury fight, right?
Yeah,
Man, I was studying it today. I watched the Joe Joyce versus Usyk fight today, and I feel like that the way Anthony Joshua is training, he's training for like a 12 round smart fight. He's training for like he knows that Usyk can box really well, so I think he's training for like the distance. I think it's gonna be a thinking man's fight. This fight is gonna be like a thinking man's fight. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua's not gonna get careless with him. He's gonna probably try to he's gonna try to like really like study like what he's doing in there against somebody who is a dangerous boxer. Usyk is very dangerous because he can get inside your guard and he knows how to score points and he knows how to counter well. Like so, Anthony Joshua was going to probably implement his power in that fight on the inside, but I think he's going to be fighting like a technically like smart fight. He's not going in there to try to knock Usyk out right away. I think he's going in there to kind of like box with him or outthink him. You see what I'm saying? Like he's going to try to outthink him and then take over. So I got AJ in that fight. Because I don't think that Usyk is experienced enough to deal with somebody like AJ who hits very hard and is very methodical on how he will knock you out. Like I think that AJ is going to be prepared for this fight.
He better be. That's what I can say. But again, like you said, if he come prepared for this fight, it should be an easy night for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's gonna probably be like the fight of the year too. Like Dazn always putting on the best shows. Like remember when Dylan White fought Povetkin, man? I had no idea that Povetkin was gonna win that first fight.
Neither did Dylan White.
yeah. Yeah.
If you think he was surprised, you should think Dylan White. He was shocked.
You know what? But that fight will ever be forgotten and sticks in my head though because Dylan White was whooping that boy good, and the next thing you know, pow! I was like, oh hell no.
wait! What did Harker Mustang? He said that he thought that Kovalev threw that fight. No, I think maybe he was just a shot boxer. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh, he think Kovalev threw that fight. You know what?
He said he thought that at first. At first he thought that, but now he thinks that maybe he's just a shot fighter. Which I mean, he's known as an alcoholic, so I mean,
Yeah, he's definitely a known alcoholic, and he did a whole bunch of shit going on right around that time. It was a money fight, and Kovalev realized that like how important he was until Andre Ward beat him. Anything's possible in boxing, man. Kovalev hit too hard to like let Canelo. Even though Canelo's like he might be juicing or whatever, like I just felt like Kovalev is too monstrous to let somebody just like get back in the fight like that, and then he got up against the ropes, and next thing you know, Canelo like fucking knocked him out. It looked suspect. It did look suspect. Harker Mustang's right. It looked a little suspect how he got knocked out. He's up against the ropes.
It kind of looked like he was waiting for that punch to come, right?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? I ain't the only one that be seeing this crap. I know people be seeing like certain things in fights.
Kind of looked like he just waited there, listen a little second just for that punch to come, and then he just shook and just crumbled. It was funny. I mean, it looked like that, but I don't know. Maybe he was just slipping. Maybe he had a couple of drinks before the fight. Who knows?
Yeah, Yeah, it is what it is, man.
His reflex was just slow, but Canelo, he didn't have much of a training camp for that fight either. I don't think he got a full camp in that fight.
He couldn't have. I think the fight was like a month and a half right after the Yarde fight. Like 6 weeks after a fight, you fighting again on a national stage. Like 6 weeks after, you couldn't have had too much training camp. And Yarde like busted him up pretty good. Like that was a tough fight between him and Yarde.
Yeah, that was a tough fight.
You see Shawn Porter training video today?
Yeah, I was showing it on my channel.
Oh, okay. I might have was there then.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was watching the video with Joyce and Usyk. That was on my channel.
Okay, so that's why I saw that too today then, because I watched it on your channel that whole fight.
Yeah.
I was off today, so I was watching you, yo. I was watching TV today.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. But I can't wait for that fight to come, man. I mean, I don't know. Man, that's gonna be I really can't wait to see that fight. I'm excited about this fight.
You talking about the Usyk versus AJ?
Both that and the Porter versus Crawford fight.
Oh yeah, those two fights are gonna be excellent. I think like those will probably be the top two fights this year. Like at the end of the year off with. You see what I'm saying? Like that's like a banger right there. And shout out to ESPN and shout out to Matchroom for making these two great matchups, man.
Yeah, for sure. What's Hawker Mustang said, yes, Yard almost knocked out Kovalev too. What is he gonna have? What is gonna happen with Canelo versus? Oh, that's another interesting fight. But yeah, Yard, man, Yard need to. I don't know why Yard is so big, and if Yard wasn't so big and he looked like like a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
That's a big problem for a fighter, man. You just where you gonna get all the energy to carry all that muscle for 12 rounds, bro? I mean, where that with all that activity, you must fuel. You gotta burn with all those muscles for 12 rounds. It's crazy, man. You need to, just lose all that weight, man. Lose all that muscle. But you can't lose muscle. You don't build it up over. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about when it comes to weightlifting and boxing. And just don't, it's not a good thing. Some of these guys get carried away with that. I don't know if that's the case with Yard or if he's just a naturally muscular guy, but I don't think so. I think he's lifting a lot of weights.
Yard used to have a lot of moxie. Like he don't have it no more, as far as I see it. Like all of these fighters need to have moxie. I think AJ probably still has moxie. Tyson Fury has all of the moxie. So
AJ's a gangster, man. He's a fighter. AJ's a fighter, man. He's he got a fighter's mentality. He might not be the best technical fighter or the best fighter in the heavyweight division. I mean, technical wise, but I think he's probably the strongest mentally. So
yeah.
Out of Fury, out of Wilder, out of all those guys that I think he's mentally a stronger guy out of a lot of those people. And that's what really get him, that's where the advantage really lies, really. He got the mental.
Yeah, he kind of saves everything that he's thinking about you until he gets in the ring with you. Like he's not sitting there like trying to brag about who he is or anything. He's thinking like, I'm about to be in a ring and I'm about to be in a real fight. And this is what I'm gonna try to do to you to keep you from taking my belts,
Yeah, and he's serious about that whole thing. Canelo and Plant. Oh man, that's a funny thing. It's gonna be a funny fight. A lot of people out there thinking that Plant has a shot against Canelo. Now that he's getting trained by yours truly, so are supposedly getting
Andre Ward, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's getting trained by him or he's just getting some pointers or what the hell is going on. But I'm hearing, I don't know if Andre actually said this, but I'm hearing that he's guaranteeing a victory or whatever. I've seen that somewhere. I don't know where, but.
You know what? One thing Andre Ward can do for him is basically show him like all of the things that he probably don't do in the ring. That it might not be considered dirty, but like I feel like if Plant actually hits Canelo on the arms here and there more, and like just kind of hit him in places that he's not used to getting hit, and then staying away from Canelo, because Canelo will fucking hit you. Like I just feel like this is gonna be an interesting fight, but I really do have Canelo like walking him down. Like Canelo's gonna walk him down if he don't do the things that he's supposed to do to try to win the fight.
Bro, I think that Canelo is gonna fold him up like a lawn chair. Okay, it's gonna be just like he did with that British guy, a British kid.
The Callum Smith, I think it was.
No, not Callum Smith. The last one that he broke his eye socket.
Oh, the Yildirim.
No, the one after
the last fight. The last fight. Who the hell did he fight the last time? Damn. Canelo, last fight.
Yeah.
I can't think of his last fight. He had so many good ones lately. But
he broke that guy's eye. What's his name? The guy that fought. He broke his eye socket.
Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
Billy Joe Saunders.
When he was Billy Joe. See, I tell you, man. Sometimes those old saying in boxing, everybody got planned to the first punch land.
Yeah.
When I saw that fight, bro, when Billy Joe got the first solid punch from Canelo, I saw it. That look, okay. I saw the look, and that look is the look where you say, "Oh my God, what am I getting myself into?"
Yeah, he kind of like retreated. You can see his mind moving, like, oh shit, what I get up in. You can hear the punch too, like the way he hit him was so accurate.
I mean, when Canelo dug, and that was a body shot. When Canelo was hitting him, you could see. You can see, you can see him wincing. You can see him saying to himself, "My God!"
I couldn't tell if it was the body shot or the right, because the way the screen was placed, I thought it was like a right, like inside uppercut or some shit.
You mean to the eye? Yeah, I'm not talking about that punch. I'm talking about before you even got to that punch. I'm talking
okay.
I'm talking about the first time that Canelo connects with a solid shot in the fight. The first time it was a body shot. The first time he connected with a solid body shot, you can see Billy Joe said, "Oh no."
Damn.
this is not what I expected. You can see
it's the hurt business.
This is the hurt business, and that's the same thing that's gonna happen with Plant. Okay. Yep. The first time Canelo hit him with one of them shots to the body, he's gonna reevaluate his whole game. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go back.
Yo, can we speed up to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury real quick? Because that's
sure. What do you think about that? What's going on with that? Oh yeah, hold on for 1 second. Let me go get me I'm gonna get me something to drink. I'm gonna get some green tea. Give me 1 minute.
Right. Bet. I'm gonna sip on this beer while you're gone. Yo, Hawker Mustang, what you think about the fight, bro? The Wilder versus Fury, man. That's gonna be lit, though. I hope they do fight, though, because we need to see that fight. Let's get it over with. Let's let them battle. One more again. Yep, I seen Wilder's footage. He looking pretty decent, but not decent enough, I don't think. Fury by landslide. Yo, I don't know if anybody watched, but Border Wars was all right tonight. If you want to check out Border Wars,
all right. So, yeah. Talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, okay. So like this, put it like this. Like, I don't think I have a horse in the race when it comes to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. This fight, even though I got money on Fury, but that's only like for people I know. I got money on Fury, yo. I can't keep on dealing with this Wilder one punch hit quitter type thing. I can't do that no more. But I just look at it from the technical point of view, and I think that Tyson Fury is gonna like come out. He's gonna keep his jab in Wilder's face, and Wilder's gonna resort back. Put it like this: Wilder might try to figure out like how he can keep his jab in Tyson Fury's face back, but if he can't, he's gonna resort back to like his old ways of just kind of sitting there looking for the one shot. But I think Tyson Fury is just gonna kind of take this as like a small man type fight. He's gonna fight small. He's gonna hit him with the jab. He's gonna probably touch him to the body. And I just feel like Tyson Fury is gonna have more combinations than Wilder. He's gonna have more like ways to like pick at Wilder to break him down. Wilder don't have the best guard, TV boxing. He don't have the best guard. Like, he don't know how to block to the body. He don't know how to block to the face. Like, I just feel like it's gonna be like an overwhelming situation because Tyson Fury is gonna probably look at this like this is my money fight. After I beat him, I can fight AJ. You know, that's the way I look at it. Like, it's gonna be just like too much for him to handle because Tyson's a superior boxer. Like, like I don't know if you know about Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall, but like that's kind of like similar to me. That's kind of similar to me, like how I look at boxing. Like, Wilder's like a slower jab puncher. He won't know how to like penetrate Tyson, but Tyson will learn how to like box him and outbox him at the beginning on points.
So what about all that training that Wilder's been doing? You don't think that's gonna count for anything?
You know what? I think that's gonna help it seem like it's like a close fight, but I don't think it's like, put it like this. I don't think Wilder really worked on his like his right hand. Like, put it like this: the right hand is his money punch, but I don't think he really knows how to get on the inside of Fury early in the fight. Early in the fight, because we know Tyson Fury is gonna move around the ring. He's gonna keep that jab in Wilder's face. He's gonna like paw at him. Like, I just don't see like, and he's gonna like outthink him. So I don't see Wilder like being like a threat to Tyson Fury, only thinking about the right hand. He's gonna have to, like you said, they say he's gonna go to the body, but I don't see how he can get close to Fury at the beginning of a fight to do that. If Fury decides to like just back up and just paw him and just stay away, like, where is the body game going to come from? He's not going to like, he can't resort back to upstairs because he's talking about fighting them to the body. So his game go out the window, I think.
Well, Fury said he's not going to run. He's going to do like he did the last fight. He's going to take it to Deontay Wilder. So Deontay Wilder wants to look.
Yeah, you're right. But he got options though. He don't have to do that if he say he don't want to do it. Like, he can resort to other things. You still there, TB?
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting because, Fury says a lot of shit, and you can never, really say what, believe what he's saying, what he's going to do. So he might be just playing mind games,
Yeah.
and he might have a whole different strategy this fight.
Yeah, I seen they had Helenius. I had seen that Wilder had Helenius in camp. I think he got Helenius in his camp. Like, so he's got somebody big in there with stature. But like, I don't think that Fury fought Helenius. Like, I think Kawanaki fought Helenius, I think. But like who has he compared Fury to? Like I don't think that Helenius is like a good example of a sparring partner for a big guy like Fury. Like,
not a guy that move like Fury. Helenius don't move nothing like Fury.
Exactly.
So that's not gonna.
I'm gonna get back in the chat.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I appreciate you for having me on, man. God bless, man. Stay up, man. UK all day.
Yeah, you too, bro.
To the
appreciate
USA.
for coming on. Yeah, every time.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, you do me a favor. If you get a chance, come over to UGC Flame Channel one day if you want.
What's the name of it?
UGC Flame Channel.
Okay, cool.
They unbiased, but at the same token, like, we have people from all over the globe on the channel. Like, meaning, it's just a good boxing dialogue for the whole wild world of sports, man.
Hey, drop the link in the comment section right there.
Okay, I'll write the name in because I'm not a mod on this channel, but I'll write the name in there.
Okay, cool.
All right, I appreciate you, man.
All right, same here, bro. Take care.
All right, one.
All right, nice, chopping it up with Ronald there, Finkley. Appreciate it coming on. So I'm not going to stay on much longer. I think, we kind of, exhausted a lot of the current topics right now. Not really, but it's getting a little late, so I'm going to leave it there for right now. Thanks, guys, for showing up. I'm going to try to do more live streams. Not try, I'm going to do more. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to start setting up a regular time. I'm looking for a good time to start my live stream. Any suggestion would be greatly appreciated. So, put them in the comment section if you got a good time you think I could start the live stream on a daily basis, and I'll just start, coming in live. But I'm looking at it. I'm investigating it myself. But anyway, with that said, make sure you go and check out the tbeboxing.com. Okay, I mean, I got some stuff on there, some headlines, some, news, some products, so check out the website, www.tbeboxing.com, like and subscribe to the channel. That's all I have for right now. Excuse me. This is TBE Boxing. We're going to leave it there, people. So with that said, I'm out of here.
Got the money for minutes, pretty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? That life before riches, huh? That life before riches, huh? Pretty bitch, show me titties, huh? And I got the glazzy run up on me, I'ma make you get it.